new media pitches were made. Was Valerie too self-assured?
We are the task force that is here to present to you our strategies for new media to take global sport into the future.
Did Abhinav take a giant risk with sports?
Once you do that, then you can sort of leverage it to get the more exciting and the more fan-following existing people.
Did Ankit hit the right notes?
Our core strategy to create low-cost IPRs.
Can Alok's prayers save him?
Those who are not the followers, who don't believe it, that is the point where you can collate the data.
Will Kunal's status update be safe?
The whole approach to leveraging social networking today is more tactical than strategic.
What does Saurabh's future hold for him?
Global sport as a platform can involve citizens as public censors.
It's time for some tough talk, because on the pitch, like in tennis, either you're in or you're out.
So Mahesh and I have had this very, very private conversation, but now I think it's time for us to let them know what the truth is, what we think. So, welcome back, contestants, please. I'd like to ask Mahesh, generally, what was your observation of the overall performance? Because, which puts Valerie in the spot, because if the overall performance isn't good, then as the team leader, she's in the spot.
I think the overall performance was pretty decent. I think the task overall was pretty hard because, new media is so nascent, especially in India now. There were some innovative ideas and, like we discussed, I think my favorite one is probably the music one. It's out there, it's different, but it's workable, and I think that was probably the one I liked most. But I think overall, considering the time you had to prepare it, did a pretty good job in that presentation.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that if the favorite idea was the music idea, it means that the guy is safe.
No.
Well, in this case, he is. So bye-bye. You're fine.
Can I go?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
See you.
I'm going to get 3 people to stand forward, and they're standing right in front. Srinivas, Valerie, Saurabh. What Mahesh thought is that overall it was decent. He kept using the word decent. I don't know whether we can blame you for that. Srinivas, you too. Your idea was, of course, the film cinema. A couple of things that maybe may have worked over there, a couple of things that may have not worked over there. I know this passion you have for the comic book, but to make everything into a comic book may be something that you... Saurabh, you spoke about...
65 likes.
65.
Yeah, what you're basically saying is that, if 1% of theatre-going audiences go to watch a movie, then every movie is a hit. You all are standing in front because you are in front. You all are safe, the 3 of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you on the next episode. You're a step nearer to that 5 crore funding, all 3 of you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Step forward, it'll be nice.
Kunal, Alok and Abhinav are in the red. Kunal has now been in the elimination zone for the past 3 tasks. Will he survive this elimination as well? Alok has been in the elimination zone in the last round. Will he be able to talk his way out today? Abhinav has been in the red just once before this. Will his lack of experience be his undoing?
You spoke about
Social networking. That's right.
You spoke about the spiritual world.
Sports.
And you spoke about sports. Unfortunately, that's right up Mahesh's...
Yes, I thought so.
He can catch you out if you were, trying to fudge it, maybe. But that's not the reason why, you're in trouble. You're in trouble, all 3 of you, because maybe your presentations were patchy. You're in trouble maybe because your presentations did not have anything new to offer.
Social networking is obviously a tough, because it's so prevalent today, across the world, and to come up with a new idea it's not easy. But what do you think went wrong?
Well, honestly, I think the whole focus area was to understand why social, let's say, networking has been successful somewhere and how we can leverage what we have to offer in terms of the huge celebrity pool in India. So the initial idea was to understand how a successful revenue model or how a successful business model can be implemented with what we have. That is a celebrity pool and access to the entire IP. I think that was my focus.
Sport-wise, so you mentioned it very clearly a couple times in your presentation that it's extremely important to have cricketers. Obviously, we all know cricket's what sells in sport. But having said that, we have experience over the last few months of a very, very senior cricketer who's been active on Voice Blog, but his numbers are not really moving like our Bollywood stars. What do you think the reason for that is then?
Firstly, it depends on who the person is, and then what the content is, and then how you've marketed that. Because the Bollywood launches are all over the website. Globo Sport has so and so Bollywood. This is the website we made for them. Whereas I didn't find any cricketer on the Globo Sport digital website in terms of that page that has the number of clients. And neither did I find any cricketer on the page that had that Airtel tie-up with Bubble Motion, the list which starts with Amitabh Bachchan and Lara Datta and so on. I didn't find anyone there either. So maybe it wasn't marketed well, maybe the person wasn't putting content that was sort of different from what you'd get anyways.
Do you think there's fan clubs for people like Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli?
Maybe not on a voice blog platform. That's why I pushed the coaches as more of something that is relevant. Even if you may not have huge numbers, at least the people who will subscribe will be actually interested in learning, and then if you make it more interactive for them, they wouldn't mind spending an extra 10 rupees to respond and put their personal questions. That's why I didn't say use cricketers as your voice blog front end. I said use their IPR, get a pool of them, and then you can use them to endorse whatever.
You're basically saying that cricketers aren't very eloquent.
No, I'm actually saying if I call in to listen to a cricketer, he's got to offer me something. A sports person usually is his performance on court, whereas a celebrity or a Bollywood guy is what his acting is, which involves talking and stuff like that.
Good point.
Good point?
Good point. Because you play so many different characters all the time, so you can kind of easily draw in an audience. But sports people, what am I going to talk about? My backhand cross-court?
No, yeah, but why not?
That's the coaching model. If Mahesh Bhupathi was to talk and get people onto maybe his own coaching lessons or the tennis academy that you're running, then you'll have that fan base already.
Spirituality was a tough one. Anything you'd like to change in that presentation if you had another chance?
That one simple thing is we are simply trying to make an individual console in his personal goals.
But there's God channel, and my mother watches God channel from morning to night.
But that even if your mother...
You're talking about spirituality as a way of life.
No, not as a
How do we
way.
channelize it into new media? That's what I think.
Yeah, that is the whole challenge. The challenge is you collect data from the people in terms of what their lifestyle is about, or how they are thinking all about. The second time an individual comes up to you asking a question, I'm stressed out, working overtime, I'm traveling across continents. Can you give me some thought? Can you give me some measure where I can console back to my own self? In that case, we draw the lineage from the knowledge of the wise, community leaders, spiritual leaders, religious leaders, even national leaders as well. And this could be done in a real-time manner. Your question, your answer given in a video format, text format, voice format, interactive format as well.
But these leaders kind of help because they feel good about helping people, right? They kind of want to help as many millions as they can.
Precisely.
So kind of monetizing it probably won't go down well with them.
No, we would actually monetize from the consumer. I mean, if you're traveling...
Yeah, but how can we monetize on the consumer and provide the service from the spiritual leader without the spiritual leader knowing?
You actually don't need to give back to the spiritual
How is
leader.
that possible? How can somebody sell Mahesh Bhupathi's backhand tip without giving money to Mahesh Bhupathi?
Yes, we can always work around that part in terms of having a philanthropic perspective to it.
Do you agree with him?
No. If I was to do spirituality, I would not go that way.
If you were in our shoes, who would you say, should be in and should be out?
I think, Kunal could be from that perspective.
Kunal.
I think that Alok's presentation was at a 10,000 feet view, and it was not really coming down and relating to how it has an intersection with new media.
You.
I would agree with Kunal on that his view or his perspective was very vague.
Have we heard enough?
I think so.
We heard enough. Unfortunately, when I stand up, whoever's talking just goes quiet. Gentlemen,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
I didn't want Alok to be voted out, but since 3 log bache the, and out of the 3, I disagreed with what he put. The remaining participants had very specific inputs coupled with long-term growth strategies. Alok के केस में वो link missing था. उसके जो ideas थे were good, but he was not able to present it well, and
he fell short in today's task, so it was a very fair decision.
Whatever the decision for the judges were, it was final. So obviously, I'm going by the decision, and it's absolutely okay with it.
Alok, you've got tremendous energy. It may be a little gimmicky, but when you came for your audition, there was so much of energy in what you said. So after a while, you're just looking at the guy. The idea became secondary. And you brought in that, if I recall right. You brought in that idea and said there was a lovely, lovely energy to that. Maybe that energy was missing today. Maybe you knew that you were standing on shaky ground. And with that, I have to say that I think your team members will miss you. What did you gain from being here?
Great insights of business leaders.
Okay.
Strong perspectives of how to analyze things very critically. Cool and great team to work in. Great personalities, standing in ground and so humble like you.
Alok, honest to God, I learned a thing or two from you. Good luck and goodbye.
Thank you, thank you.
Mahesh, tough day.
Tough day.
Tough day, tough day. Always heartbreaking because eventually it's how you're standing in front of the person concerned, you're talking to the expert, and maybe you've got all the facts right, maybe you've got all the ideas right, but sometimes you just don't present it perfectly. But Mahesh, goodbye to you. And as promised, I'll see you. I'll be cheering for you from the Royal Box at Wimbledon next year.
Look forward.
Thank you very much
Thanks.
for being here. So with that, we come to an end of another fantastic episode of The Pitch. Next week, do catch us on the pitch with India's brightest young entrepreneurs, now only 6 of them, India's greatest business icons, and of course, me. Bye-bye. And this is the M3M property.
The task is about, I would like you guys to work upon successful launch and marketing of this property, M3M Golf Estate, which is around.
Answer my question. What kind of a presentation is that?
But I don't think it went that way.
It did. What did you exactly say, Shia?
So golf shouldn't even be in our strategy. Let's forget it.
Excuse me. He said golf shouldn't even be in our strategy. And then you guys go very happily, go ahead and try and sell golf.